again. In the upcoming video, I'm gonna give you a room tour of my apartment here in Riga, so you know how a medicine student here lives for 6 years. But for now, I wanted to sit down and talk, so you know what my deal is. This video has 4 major points. The first point is gonna be about myself. And the second point is that I want to enlighten you why there are so many international students gathering together in Riga in the first place. Third point is I want to tell you my story, how I exactly ended up here, because everyone has their own story. And the fourth point is gonna be about the pros and cons of living in Riga. And if there are gonna be any more remaining questions, I'm happy to answer them for you if you just leave them down below in the comment section. So I don't really recall anymore if I've already mentioned it or not, but I am German, born and raised, and I'm not gonna try and hide my accent because that'd be as stupid as a British person trying to imitate an American accent and vice versa. So what kind of fool would I be to try to hide my nationality? But right now, I can tell you, every single German person watching this video is gonna be like, oh, she's German, you don't look German, so what are your roots? I'm glad you asked. So my grandfather was a surgeon from Turkey. That's why I look a little bit more exotic. But then people go, oh, you don't look Turkish, your complexion is so pale, and why isn't your hair so dark? Sister, I don't know. I am who I am, take it or leave it. And I would say one of the main character traits that will highlight my personality is that I am pretty interested in different cultures. I want to know how things and politics work in different countries, and I'm also willing to learn the language here, even though it's not a requirement. I study in English, but even though it's a language only spoken maybe by a 1 million population, I'm still interested in the language of the people, of the people of the country I live at the moment. But moving on to the part of the video as to why there's so many medicine students here in Riga. I can tell you probably in every country in Europe, no matter where, medicine is gonna be highly competitive. So in case you're not a straight A student, you don't have a good chance to get into your home countries. So you make up your mind and look for a contingency plan, and mine was Riga, and probably for everyone else that ended up here, it was as well. But also B, some of the countries in Europe don't have enough medicine study spots to cover the shortage of doctors they have in the country, so they make a deal and tell their people they can go study in Eastern Europe and give them a loan, and then they go ahead, study 6 years here in Riga, and then go back to their home countries. In case you've never heard of Riga or Latvia before, Riga is the capital of Latvia, and Latvia is one of the 3 Baltic states in Eastern Europe. Riga has about 700,000 people living here, and Latvia comprises a total population of 1.9 million people. Now, Latvia gained its independence twice in its history. The first time was in 1918, and the second time was with the breakup of the USSR, or Soviet Union. Since 2003, they are part of the European Union, and in 2014 they introduced the euro, which is very good for me, because then I can just easily access money here. And if I were to state one fun fact about Latvia, it would be that as of the year of 2016, Latvia has been removed from the World Health Organization list of high-burden countries of multi-drug-resistant tuberculosis. Now, tuberculosis is an infectious disease usually contracted in societies of low socioeconomic status. But as of the year of 2016, we don't have that problem. But how exactly did I end up here? So let me tell you, the German school system is very complex. We love complexity as much as anything. So you cannot just simply go to any type of high school and expect to be going on to college. No, that's not the case. I visited what they call a gymnasium, and I know it's a little bit confusing because it's not the same, you know, you actually go to school and not to the gym and do sports, and probably the person naming this was as confused as the system is on its own, but I can't change it. But anyways, I did go to the gymnasium, but unfortunately I didn't get a study spot in Germany. And there is a deal in Germany that you may as well just wait for 6 or 7 years, not doing anything, just working. You're not allowed to study anything else. You have to basically wait for your study spot in medicine and hope to get into medicine after a waiting period. And then after 6 years, you have to hope that you will get accepted. It's not even guaranteed. But which brought me to RIGA actually is that I heard that you have a validated study process within the European Union, which means that, for instance, if you finished your preclinical studies outside of Germany, you can validate this accomplishment inside of Germany or within Germany and apply for your clinical studies in Germany. So this is what I did, but I didn't transfer back to Germany now, did I? Else I wouldn't be sitting here now. After this, it comes down to choosing the country you want to be spending the next 2 years at, or presumably the next 6 years, and also what university should you be choosing, because it should be within the European Union. It's always easier that way. And in Riga, I never had any problems with validation processes. I'm pretty happy to be here. And one of the cool things here is that they built this brand new building at the hospital, and it's pretty cool to see finally that it's finished and all, but don't get fooled. I wasn't taught that, because once they finished up building this building, I was already done with all the courses that are being taught now in this building. So what does this story tell us? It's not always the early bird now, is it? And now I will get to the fourth section of my video as to why I chose Riga, which is the pros and cons of Riga. So if you study abroad, you want to be having an easy access to the airport because you get homesick very quick. Well, that was a reason for me to look for a university that is located in the capital of the country. So you definitely know it's going to be having an airport there. And usually the pros of a country or another culture is the things that match to what you're used to from your home country. But here in Riga, I would say that I would like to highlight the things that are different from Germany. One of these major differences that I like is that you can pay with credit card anywhere you want. And there's no minimum value of money that you need to be paying to be able to be paying with card, because this is a major issue in Germany, and I barely carry cash on me because I know I can't just pay by card. Number 2 on my pros list is unlimited internet access on your smartphone. In Germany, I pay 15 euro a month and all I get is 500 MB. And then my internet gets so slow I cannot even make a WhatsApp call. So number 3 on my checklist, I would say, is the IT here in Riga. Everything done on the internet is pretty easily accessible and very easy to handle. If I compare my German internet banking to my Latvian internet banking, it's just easier handled. I can't really explain it any further, but it's just very handy. One of the other things that you notice that Riga is pretty good at electronics and digital things is that on the buses and trams you stamp your electronic card, you just hold it there and then it beeps. So there are no stamps, nothing with ink. And I guess that the buses and trams are pretty new because Latvia gained its independency in '91 and they just started buying these trams and buses that already came with the system. Number 4, very important, lifestyle. Riga offers me a huge lifestyle that I probably wouldn't be affording in Germany. I go out eating the best of food and I love going out to eat here. I have my favorite breakfast and lunch places and also dinner, but also the cab ride home is very affordable. So this is actually the best part of it. The cinema is also affordable for a student, and since it's the capital, you can do a lot of fun stuff here and also cultural stuff. For instance, going to the National Museum of Art, and there's a lot of artistry here in Riga, also within the city itself, because it has its own character since it's used to be part of the Soviet Union with a different culture, and now it is more of a Western world. We are a lot of different students from different cultures, different languages, all gathering together. So after 3 pros, I want to mention the cons of Riga. I think the biggest con I can come up with is the weather. I couldn't believe it myself. You know, I wish every person in this world could experience what minus 20 degrees means. And I'm sorry for everyone that doesn't know what minus 20 degrees is. Please Google right now what it is in Fahrenheit, because it's so cold. You take your hand out of your pocket and it's already frozen. You haven't even had the chance to look at your hand, it's already frozen, you know. Oh. And even though we don't have a lot of rain here, there's also not a lot of sun here. So it's getting pretty dark pretty early, and most of the times there is no sun at all. So it's just this gray, cloudy thing, and then you hope for some kind of sunshine, but there won't be anything. It's just gonna be this gray, cloudy world here. And that's why I actually relocated also my desk, because I'm studying now a lot in my apartment and I don't want to get depressed in this dark apartment, so I put it to the sun side of my apartment, so at least I get a little bit of, not sunshine, but a little bit of grayness. The second con I would say is, if you're new to Riga, you need to know that there are 2 generations of people living here. One generation was born and raised in the Soviet Union, the other generation was raised in a more Western world. And if you're confronting an old lady on the tram, be aware, she's gonna push you hard. And I don't know why, but it's kind of the habit that 3 stops away from the stop they want to be getting off the tram, they'll stop pushing people just so they get their way to the door. And then they're standing there in front of the door and they're not due for another 2 stops yet, but at least they pushed you around the tram and they got their will. So yeah, basically there are only 2 cons to the city, and I don't want to be insulting or something. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the people of Riga. It's just something funny that happened to me, and I liked living here, and I hope one day I'll be able to make use of my Latvian skills. You know who's gonna continue studying a little bit more now? It's me.